Hey, welcome to Mirrorless Image. I'm your wonderful host, JLB. Today we have a special guest, Agent J. What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
boss?
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Hey, I'm glad to have you here.
Yes, sir. Got to be here.
Hey, introduce yourself.
Yeah. So my Instagram is at Agent Jason J. Full name is Jason Jeremiah. Everyone just calls me Jay. I'm a Florida realtor. I'm from New York originally, but I've been down here long enough. Went to school here and such. Yeah, just got a passion for real estate, helping clients, build wealth, own homes. Most of my clients are first-time home buyers, and so I excel in that. I meet them exactly where they're at, and we make the process happen. So I've been selling for some years now. I bought and sold homes personally, and we just making it happen.
Nah, that's good, man. That's good. Hey,
Yes,
wait,
sir.
I got a question, man.
Yeah, talk to me.
Why y'all wear hats all the time, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's wild. I know. So this is just how I built the brand over the years. Because before getting into real estate, I've always liked hats, and then even after getting into it, I wanted to stay genuine, stay real, stay me. And so what I did was I have like 20 of these hats. They're all different colors, customized. They say different things. A lot of them say Agent Jason J on the side. I'm not sure which side, but that's just how I wanted to build the brand, just to stay genuine. I'm not really a big suit and tie guy.
Right.
You know what I'm
Nah.
saying?
You
I'm just
just
not.
dress down, relax.
Yeah, I'm
you
chilling.
yourself.
Myself, and I'm confident in my abilities and my knowledge, so I don't feel the need to dress up. 'Cause I know the knowledge is up here, the experience, it speaks for itself.
Nah,
So,
that's good, man.
yes,
That's
sir.
good to know because, sometimes when you walk up to, at least for me,
Yeah.
when I went to, I was going to get a home a couple years ago. I talked to a couple realtors.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just the vibe wasn't right.
Was it like you felt like something like disingenuine, or a certain vibe you felt like they were looking out for their interests more than yours? What was it?
Yeah, it was more of that.
Yeah.
It was more of just them trying to get me to purchase a home and
Make a sale.
right.
Okay.
And them getting whatever they get from it, And I think
Yeah, no.
that kind of like turned me off a little bit.
No, I got you.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, folks could smell that. Smokes could smell the desperateness, the disingenuousness, So no, I gotta keep it real, be honest. Depending on the person, what's happening in life, you don't want to push all of them towards home ownership. Sometimes the best decision is not to. So just depends. I speak to clients about this all the time, just because we're all different, and it's important to know like your lifestyle or the lifestyle you want, so you can match it with the property style. So for an example, if you know you're not the type of person that wants to be out here in the sun, mowing lawns and stuff like that, maybe a condo or a townhome may be a better fit, because with the HOA that they will likely have, they're going to take care of the lawn care, landscaping, changing the roofs. You don't have to worry about that. HOA usually covers that. Exterior painting when the outside of your home begins to fade. When you're in a single family home, you're going to have to take care of that and upkeep that. A townhome or a condo, most likely the HOA is going to take care of that. So that was my first property. It was a small condo years and years ago, but I knew my lifestyle, and I knew I wanted to just lock the front door and leave. I didn't want to worry about all these other upkeep and maintenance, and so
Right.
it's important to know your lifestyle and match that with the property style so it could all make sense.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
I get that. I know. I was looking into getting a townhouse.
Townhomes, yeah. Dude, it's perfect.
Nah, I was looking into getting something like that. But that's the realtor I was telling you about. He kind of was showing me stuff in a single family home.
Okay.
At the
Okay.
time,
Okay.
and so I was kind of everywhere with it.
Did he
wasn't-
tell you why? He tell you why?
Maybe because I was single by myself.
Mm.
I had just was going through my divorce
Right.
and things like that. So I think he was just trying to get me into something quick. Or I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. But
Yeah, for sure.
He sent me a lot of homes that I didn't really accept. Should I
Okay.
say?
Yeah.
On that.
No, things
note.
have to make sense, man. Things have to make sense.
Nah, I think that'll be a good look as far as taking that route. I know a couple people who actually took that route.
It's perfect, especially for starter homes as well.
Right.
You don't have to start with a 7-bedroom castle. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
It's all right. Start with your starter home, nice little town home, things like that, and snowball that over time. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Yeah.
that make a lot of sense, man. Because in your mind, you thinking, man, I want a mansion. I
Yeah.
want a mini mansion.
Exactly.
I want a man cave.
I hear it all the time. Like, you think your first home has to be your forever home.
Right,
That's
right.
that's the thinking. It does not have to be your forever home. This is literally your starter home. It's no different than a starter car. Most of us, for our first car,
Right.
it wasn't. What's a fancy car out there? A Challenger.
Challenger or
Something
something,
fancy, or BMW,
Jaguar,
i8 Jaguar.
yeah.
Usually we're not buying Maseratis for our first cars
Right,
for
right.
the majority of people. So take that same approach with housing, make sure the numbers make sense, be humble
Right.
with your purchase, and then know that you're going to snowball that and that equity to your next home, and your next home, which may be closer to your forever home.
Let's say 2 or more people decide to come together to purchase real estate. What are some things that you should keep in mind?
Yes. So I've been through it where husbands and wives are purchasing together, boyfriend and girlfriends, family members, doesn't matter. The thing you have to keep in mind is that the lenders, and as you know, I'm a realtor, so there's going to be lenders that's going to be in charge of the financing. They're going to be the ones taking the loan application from you, running your credit. You're going to be sending them bank statements, pay stubs, tax returns, all of that. That won't go to the realtor, that'll go to the lender.
Okay.
So keeping in mind what the lender keeps in mind, they're going to be pulling both of your credit scores. And so if you're going to combine forces on the loan application together, pulling in both of your incomes, that also means they're going to be pulling in both of your debts. So you can't pick and choose, like use my income, but use my wife's credit score. They're not going to do that.
Okay.
If they're going to look at both of you, they're going to look at everything with both of you, both
Right.
your income, both your debt, both your credit score. And then when it comes to the credit score, what they're going to do is pull your FICO scores, all three, from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Get your middle score, your FICO score, get, let's say, your wife's middle FICO score,
Right.
put those up against each other, and then use the lower out of the two. So it's just
Okay,
like more
okay.
calculations for how they look at things.
Right.
I like to let clients know how the lenders look at it, because the lenders are the money.
Right, right.
They're the ones lending hundreds of thousands of dollars. We got to see how they think. And so just stuff to keep in mind. They're going to really scan both of you, or 3 of you. I've sold homes where there's 3 buyers coming together. And same thing with the credit score. They're going to pull all of your middle FICO scores up and then go out of the lower out of the 3 or 2. So just stuff to keep in mind. But you don't have to remember all of that. That's why you got me here.
Right.
That's why you got me here. I got you.
Hey, I need you.
I got you. I got you.
Now I know the people they definitely this right here gonna be,
Yeah.
man, it's some information, man.
No,
that's a lot to take in. So if
Yeah.
y'all need to hit the back button, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Rewind it. It's all good. We have to know how the lenders think. It doesn't matter what your cousin thinks or whatever. The lenders and the banks are the ones loaning hundreds of $1,000s. How do you look at this?
Right.
And so, no, but it's good.
Right. Okay. So let's say someone that's single,
Okay.
going in to purchase a home, like
Yeah.
the steps would be the same, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
They're going to take a loan application from you. They're going to look at your income. They're going to look at your debt. They're going to look at your credit. When it comes to your income, they're going to look at the gross income,
Right.
not the net. So
Right.
a lot of folks do the take home. They're going to look at the gross amount before taxes and insurance are taken out, that main amount. And then when it comes to your debt, they're usually not going to look at the overall amount. So I have clients that say I have $100,000 in student loan debt. That's fine. What do you pay on a monthly basis? It's the monthly basis they're going to look at. Credit cards. I have $7,000 in credit card debt. That's cool. What's the minimum payment required on that credit card?
Right.
They're going to look at on a monthly basis for your debt. And that's how they come up with their debt to income ratio, by scrubbing your debt against your gross income. And that's how they come up with those ratios to see how much home you could afford. So after looking at everything, they'll be able to say, let's say John Smith can afford a home up to $300,000.
Right.
How they come up with those numbers is the ratios and looking at your full loan application and credit and things like that. Once again, I'm not a lender. I just know a lot about their world because obviously they work really close with real estate.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I got a question. This is just a personal question.
I got you.
Would it be beneficial for me to buy land first and build on top of that, or should I go the other route?
So I would say for a first-time buyer, I would buy the land and the property already together.
Got you.
It's going to be easier to finance. There's a loan product, most of you probably heard of it. It's called FHA, 3.5% down. There's other loan products out there too. FHA is really popular amongst first-time home buyers, and you're getting a package deal. The land's already there. The dwelling is already there. The financing changes usually when you buy land and then try to build on it. Usually going to be higher down payment, maybe 20%. The lender's going to have to pay. You're going to have to get like an architect, get contractors involved. Like it changes everything. So for your first home, to save all of that stress, I would say go traditional first with the land and the property already as one.
Okay.
Easier to finance, lower down payment, lower interest rates. And then over time, if you want to snowball that, you want to get more fancier, then I would say to do that. Because what happens is I've sold land to sellers that once bought land thinking they were going to do the same plan. They held the property for years, never built on it because they see, oh, wow, this is a lot of work of what it takes. Before you know it, years pass. And it's like, Jason, I've done nothing with it. I never built on it like what I planned. Can you help me sell? And he ended up selling that less than what he bought it for, because it is a plot of dirt at the end of the day. It takes a certain buyer to look at a plot of dirt and say, I want to pay top dollar for it, depending on the location and stuff. But he didn't care that we were selling it less. He just wanted it off his hands. So that's stuff to keep in mind. Is, could be, you could have a plan for it, never actually execute, because it is a lot involved with that. So for the first property, for sure, traditional, lock it in, own real estate.
Okay. I know COVID affected a lot of things. COVID was pretty bad.
It's crazy.
Why were interest rates so low during COVID? And
Yes,
do
sir.
you think we ever see those interest rates again?
No, I don't think we'll ever see those interest rates again. It's crazy. Because you got to think, like, it was a whole pandemic. It took a pandemic to get those rates. People literally were losing their jobs and their lives. Like, I actually hope we never see those rates again, because that means something that big and catastrophic has to come back to shift up the market again, and the government and the economy. So a big pause button was pressed on the world. So the government, to kind of keep the economy stimulated, they printed stimulus checks. They printed a lot of money. They also cut interest rates to keep money flowing and to keep people buying, because one transaction is like multiple industries: title company, lenders, realtors, home inspectors, home appraisers. There's a lot involved for one closing. A lot of industries eat off one closing. And so to keep all that going, they cut interest rates to record lows, so home buyers are still incentivized to make it happen. I'm one of those buyers. I took advantage of those low rates when everyone else thought I was crazy and my clients were crazy for buying in the COVID market. And I understand why they thought that. It was scary times. But real estate was still deemed essential. And so I was still out there with clients making it happen. But anyway, it took a pandemic to get those rates. I don't see them ever going to 2.5s and all that again. What I would recommend is to not stress about it. That time is done and gone. Execute about the future. Control the controllables, which is what you can do right now. Still make sure the numbers make sense and focus on the now.
Is buying a multifamily home for your first property a good idea?
Depends on the buyer. And if they have a family and such. If it's a single person, I think it'll make sense. Once again, depending on the location. For those that may not know, single family homes is what you may think about traditionally. It's just a single dwelling. Multifamily is usually where you run into duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes. It stops at quadplex because anything over 4 units is now considered commercial real estate. Anything 4 units or below is considered residential real estate. And so quadplexes, triplexes, it may work. Financing is nicer as well, since the lenders can use the extra units as earned income to have you qualify higher. It just depends. Something to keep in mind is that your tenants are next door, right? If you buy a duplex, a triplex, some people may not want that, to live so close to their tenants. If you're going to just rent out to your family members, it just depends. But for most of my first time home buyers, single family homes, they're doing traditional, just their family, peace of mind.
If someone has a very nice landlord that never increases the rent, should they buy real estate and live in a rental property forever? Because if you think about it, like, that makes sense. Like,
it makes sense.
If things are the same consistently and no
Yeah.
increase, like, should they take that route?
Yeah, I mean, I would say even if you choose to stay in the property, like for your main primary residence, you should still be buying investment properties. Like, you still have to buy real estate because in the end, that property that you're living in is a business to your landlord. And for some reason, maybe they got it at a crazy good rate or purchase price. Maybe it's paid off. But from your landlord's point of view, they're still benefiting and having that business profitable by not increasing the rent on you. But it's just something to think about. Even if it looks like I have a nice steal, and I probably do, my landlord is still eating off me, which is awesome. So with the money I'm saving, because my rent has been $700 for the last 7 years, something crazy. If they're keeping it at $700, that means you're saving a lot. Don't buy Gucci belts. Don't buy crazy stuff. No, we gotta be strategic. Don't use the savings that your landlord's blessing you with and make crazy purchases. The toys will come later. All that fancy stuff will come later. Don't travel around the world so often. Make sure you're saving up for a down payment to still buy real estate. You will benefit long term by owning the asset, building wealth, equity. Just because you have a nice landlord does not mean you should make their family more wealthy and you miss out for the rest of your years, you know?
Right. Nah, that makes sense, because you would think like a person living, my rent is the same, I'm finna ball out.
That's crazy.
You know, and their mindset is like, I'm finna ball out.
Ball out for the rest of my years? Nah, even if you own, you rent where you live, but you own rentals.
Yeah.
That gives you more peace of mind and happiness and wealth to where you can ball out with more peace of mind.
Right.
But you can't just be having 50 luxury cars, 20 Gucci belts, because your rent is staying consistent. You have nothing to show for it. A lot of this stuff will go down in value, except that real estate will likely increase. And if you have a tenant in there paying your mortgage for you and giving you cash flow, you've earned a ball out at that point. You've earned it at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just a mental switch I'm talking to folks about.
Right, and you know, we in the world, so things can change.
Yes.
Right? So you can be balling out. Next thing you know, hey, next year, hey, I'm sorry, man, I got to go up another 1,000.
Crazy. They could go up 2,000, 2,500, because now they're taking into consideration the 7 years they never increased their rent on you.
Yeah.
So had they increased the rent, maybe it's going to be 100 or 2. They hit you with it all at once. And they have the right to do that as long as they give you like a 60-day notice or something for most leases. If they say, yeah, man, I bless you, kept it cool for 7 years, life is happening, inflation, all this other stuff, next year the rent's going to be $2,700. You can take it and re-sign the lease, or you could pack up and leave. You see what I'm saying? Straight like that. And you don't want to be caught in these positions because they are still the owner of the asset. You have to own some real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this next question you kind of like touched on. Like,
I did?
Yeah, it says, why do you dislike the thought of extremely expensive cars and clothes for the average person if they are not a homeowner?
Yeah.
So we just touched on
We
that.
touched on it, man. I've seen a lot of damages that these things do to clients, depending on the mindset, what they're spending their money on.
Right.
And then by the time they get in contact with me, it's like, dang, Jason, I wish I met you earlier. I wish I met you sooner before I made certain financial decisions. Because now it's negatively impacting the real estate journey, qualifying numbers, lenders, the mortgages, everything, And so I think for most, let's own the asset first. The toys and stuff could come later.
Right.
I've seen it affect so many people negatively. So over the years, I just started developing a hate towards a lot of this fancy stuff out here. It's cool and all, but the new car smell's gonna fade.
Right.
Eventually, the Gucci clothing, whatever, the white tee with the logo that cost you $1,500, it's gonna get dirty. It's still a white tee.
Right.
Whatever,
It just got a brand on it. Brand. We're paying for the brand.
Crazy when you think about it. It's still a cotton T-shirt.
I know. It's crazy, man. I was talking about that the other day with some group of guys. And we were just touching on how just shoes alone. I'm in my 30s. So when I was growing up, we used to get Adidas. Two pair of Adidas for like 75. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Like now,
no.
It's different, man.
No, for sure, bro. I mean, the Michael Kors and all these things. Who's Michael? I don't know Michael.
You know what I mean?
He never paid any of my bills. He's not pouring into me and my family as well. But we giving him all of our money. Who's Michael? I don't know Mr. Kors.
Right.
So it's just, I want things to make sense. And so I think like the rich also has that figured out. They own more assets than liabilities. And for more middle, lower class, it's flipped. And so that's the psyche that I'm attacking. It may not be popular to say, but I'm going to stand on it. Okay. I'm going to stand on it.
Okay, stand on it.
Yeah, man.
All right, say I wanted to purchase a home out of state. I know it's a little different. Okay, for example, say if I want to purchase a home out of state, but I don't live there.
Okay.
Could I purchase that home? I'm just asking random questions.
Yeah, you're good.
Can I purchase that home and still be here, or I have to? It's a certain amount of time I will have to move in order for me to.
So it depends on how you buy.
Okay.
So if you're buying it as a primary residence,
right, and
it goes through everything with the lenders and the underwriters, you do have to usually occupy the home within 60 days after closing.
Got you.
If you're buying it as an investment, well, that's different, right? It's an investment property that you're buying across state lines.
Right.
Most likely, though, that changed the financing, so you're likely putting more money down, and such. We could speak on that too for why the financing changes. I'm not a lender, but The reason why it's lower down payment and lower interest rates when you buy your primary home versus an investment property outright is because the lenders usually know that the investment property holds more risk. So
Gotcha.
even for yourself, if you had two homes, your
Right.
primary home and your investment property 50 miles away, if you ran into tough times and let's say the tenant stopped paying rent, which mortgage would you make sure is paid?
Yeah.
Like for you personally?
Yeah.
Would you make sure like your investment property is paid or your primary home?
Man, that's a primary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most people will make sure the roof over their head is paid.
Right.
That investment property, it holds more risk. If I got to get foreclosed on, that's whatever.
Right.
My family and I live here. The lenders know that.
Right.
So when you're buying investment properties, they want higher down payment to offset the risk, and usually that comes with higher interest rates. So.
Okay. What motivates you every day as a realtor?
Yeah, I have a few different motivations. I just love real estate just in general. As you know, I own properties as well. And so when it comes to assisting my clients to do the same, seeing them build wealth, close on their homes, that excitement, it's powerful. You know, that excites me. There's a lot of folks that rely on me. So I wake up every day hungry, ready to go, get it, assist, guide, protect, because you want a realtor to protect you while you're under these legally binding contracts, because these are actual contracts crafted by Florida lawyers. So you can get sued. You could end up in front of a judge. I've never been sued. I've never ended up in front of a judge, but I'm always prepared to, right? So when it comes to protecting your clientele and making sure you guys are good. So I just wake up with a certain fire in me all the time. And yeah, I love real estate.
Good.
It's one of those, it's a tangible asset.
Right.
So I'm more comfortable with it as well.
Right.
Crypto coins, all that stuff is cool. All that digital stuff. I want something tangible. I want to feel you. You know what I'm saying? I have more confidence in you that way.
Right.
And it's just powerful.
Right.
I love real estate.
You want to show up to that place and
That tangible feel is
Right.
you can't beat it. You get stock, all that can go down. All this stuff it's
Right.
cool and all, but I want my tangible asset too. They're not making any more land.
I know we kind of talked on the side a little bit over
Yeah.
the phone. You talked about your faith. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to get into that. How has your faith in Jesus influenced you as far as your career in real estate, and why and how does it serve you for you serving your clients?
Respect. Powerful question. A lot of his principles in the Word of God lives within me. You know, that is my foundation. Not perfect, never claim to be, but I do know where my foundation lies. And so when he says things like the hard times will come over, the storms will come over the believers and the non-believers, that's stuff that I take into consideration as well when I'm assisting my clients. When it's tough times happening in a real estate transaction, I always tell everyone, one foot in front of the other. You know, different things like that. We could prepare for what we could prepare for. Other things may come out of nowhere. Tough times will come over the believers and the non-believers. And I do view myself as a vessel to some degree with the Almighty to assist my folks. And so it definitely plays a part. A lot of the principles from the Word of God lives within me, and it keeps me fueled.
Just want to thank you for coming on to Mirrorless Image.
Of course.
I'm back.
Oh yeah, we here, y'all. Hey, listen, we are here. You guys, subscribe, like, follow, Instagram, share the whole thing. It's gonna be crazy.
Hey man, I thank you for showing up, man.
Of course.
I'm gonna have you back.
I'm down.
Hey guys, leave some comments. I know it's gonna be kind of.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down,
This
bro.
my boy, man.
Yeah.
I got his contact information will be in the description. Anything you need from him,
Definitely.
you contact him, text him, call him, whatever you need. Email will be there. All right, last question.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone considering a career in real estate?
Got you. So when you're a baby realtor, I mean, there's a lot that you don't know. There's a lot that your clients are depending on you to know that you don't even know that you need to know. You know, it's just a lot. You need to be a sponge. You gotta be ready to sacrifice, because maybe binge watching Netflix will have to take a back seat so you could study these contracts, these 13-page contracts and all the addendums and writers that go along with it. There's going to be an element of sacrifice, I think, in almost anything you do if you want to be pretty dangerous in it. And then, just execute. Be a sponge. Learn it all. Life experience would give you the best type of experience overall. Because they say knowledge is power, but I like applied knowledge. I think applied knowledge is more powerful. Even if you got the knowledge, if you sit on it, it doesn't matter. Got to apply it. Let's execute. You're definitely going to grow with time. Patience.